This video is about the Golden Pill as explained in chapter 26 of the book Commentary on Journey to the West. The 16th century novel Journey to the West tells the story of the monk Sanzang, who travels to India to receive sacred scriptures from Buddha. This tale is based on a true story of the Tang Dynasty Buddhist monk Xuanzang, who journeyed to India in the 7th century to obtain the Mahayana Buddhist sutras. The novel serves as an allegory for the inner journey of spiritual cultivation and enlightenment, incorporating the Taoist concept of the Golden Pill and the Buddhist Western paradise of Amida Buddha to convey its profound message. The story was published anonymously in 1592. During the 900 years between Xuanzang's historical journey and the symbolical journey depicted in the book, the tale gradually evolved. As evidenced by this porcelain pillow from the Yuan dynasty, the novel's other main characters, Monkey, Pig, the Dragon Horse and Friar Sand, were already part of the story 200 years before the publication of the book. The story's symbolism is so rich and intricate that understanding it requires extensive study and embarking on one's own inner journey. The more one delves into its depth, the more apparent it becomes that such a work could not have been written by a mere mortal. According to Liu Yiming, who wrote a commentary on the book, it is guarded by celestial spirits. In this video, we will explore the concept of the Golden Pill, also known as the Golden Elixir, depending on the translation of the Chinese characters. Liu Yiming explains it as follows. Ancient immortals used the term Golden Pill as a metaphor of the essence of true consciousness. In daily life, it is common to see someone completely lost in thought, often referred to as daydreaming. During these moments, a person lacks self-awareness. The same phenomenon occurs when someone is deeply engrossed in their phone or computer. At other times, people often have only a rudimentary level of self-awareness and are often unaware of the motivations behind their actions. These actions can stem from unconscious desires, past experience or trauma, societal norms, and cultural influences. The true consciousness that Liu Yiming speaks of is the result of the presence of one's original spirit, which remains dormant in most people. Journey to the West says, it's hard. The way is very mysterious. Don't make light of the Golden Pill. If you don't meet a sage who can teach you miraculous spells, one is just tiring the voice with meaningless words and drying the tongue in vain. The 20th century fourth way teacher George Gurdjieff spoke about the sly man's pill. He said, the fourth way is sometimes called the way of the sly man. The sly man simply prepares and swallows a little pill which contains all the substances he wants, and in this way, without loss of time, he obtains the required results. Gurdjieff did not directly explain what the sly man's pill is. However, his student Peter Uspensky, who became a fourth way teacher in his own right, said that one must remember oneself to be able to take the pill. Another fourth way teacher, Rodney Collin, believed it related to the acceptance of oneself and the world, stating, "Things as they are, myself as I am." All humans are flawed, and most people buffer or avoid facing aspects of themselves that they perceive as negative or undesirable. As a result, everyone maintains an imaginary picture of themselves. In contrast to the fourth way, the Taoist alchemy tradition speaks very clearly about the details of creating the golden pill. This image shows one of the 8 Taoist immortals, Lu Dongbing, with the golden pill. He has a gourd hanging from his waist. Journey to the West says, "His face was a child's and his body was strong. The gourd was like a celestial cave with pills of eternal youth, like a charm for everlasting life hanging from his waist." The red pill in the Matrix movies also has its roots in the golden pill of Taoist alchemy. Morpheus tells Neo, "When you take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes." By taking the red pill, Neo awakens from the Matrix and enters the real world, eventually becoming the One, a concept that is central to Taoism. Tao Te Ching, verse 10 asks, "Can you hold fast to the One and not stray from it?" Similarly, Zhang Boduan stated, "When you know and obtain the One, the 10,000 things are done." People usually interpret the 10,000 things as referring to external phenomena. However, its deeper meaning pertains to internal experiences such as thoughts, emotions, and desires. From a very young age, attachment to these internal experiences creates a false identity that obscures one's true self, the One. In the beginning of Journey to the West, Monkey studied under a teacher, but was sent away for showing off his skills. He had acquired the ability to transform himself into various objects and beings, and once changed himself into a tree in front of his fellow students. Despite his many abilities, Monkey could not keep them secret, prompting his teacher to send him away. Lacking humility, he began creating trouble everywhere he went. To keep an eye on him, the gods invited Monkey to heaven, but even there he caused havoc. In a drunken stupor, he ended up in Lao Tzu's elixir laboratory, where in his arrogance he stole Lao Tzu's pills of immortality. He went straight to the room in which the elixir was kept. There was no one there, and he saw a fire burning in the alchemical furnace where the pills were made. On the other side of the stove were 5 gourds, full of golden pills of refined elixir. "This is the immortal's greatest treasure," he exclaimed in delight. The gourd is the traditional and symbolic container for the golden pill. Inscribed on this gourd are the characters Xiandan, meaning pill of immortality, another name for the golden pill. This image depicts another one of the 8 Chinese immortals, Li Jieguai, with a golden pill and also a gourd hanging from his waist. This Chinese gourd charm symbolically shows the golden pill's meaning. The large circle below represents earth, while the smaller circle above represents heaven. The passage between heaven and earth is called the mysterious pass or gate. Within the lower circle are 5 bats, which in China symbolize the 5 blessings or 5 good fortunes. This Chinese lucky charm features 5 bats and 4 characters, similar to those on the gourd charm, which read Wu Fu Lim Men, meaning the 5 fortunes arrive at the gate. This suggests that the 5 bats symbolically enable one to reach the mysterious pass. In the center of the lower circle is the character for good fortune, pronounced Fu, which has the same pronunciation as the character for bat. The right part of the Chinese characters, which is also the same, determines the pronunciation. Such visual puns are common in China and convey deeper meanings. The 5 blessings, longevity, wealth, health and peace, virtue and a natural death, represent universally valuable aspects of a good life that resonate with people from all walks of life. However, in esoteric schools, these 5 blessings are taught to hold deeper meanings related to the spiritual practice of creating the golden pill. Bats fly at night, adeptly navigating the darkness. According to Liu Yiming, the human mind is light outside and dark inside, akin to the trigram fire. This suggests that our attention is mainly focused on the external world, leaving our inner world unillumined. The image of bats flying in the dark symbolizes the human mind's potential for inner illumination, encouraging us to turn inward and enlighten our inner self. In the painting Ascent of the Blessed by Hieronymus Bosch, 4 figures in the dark are supported by angels as they rise toward the light. The 5th figure has entered a mysterious passage. The 6th figure at the end has the good fortune of entering the world of light. The passage is divided in 5 segments, while the circle of light at the end can be taken as the golden pill. In Journey to the West, Bodhisattva Guanyin says, "Allow me to present you with this magic pill that I venture to say will confer immortality on you." This statement highlights the profound transformation that these 5 blessings can facilitate when one understands their deeper meaning. Attaining the Tao and immortality cannot be achieved by merely acquiring knowledge about symbols. It requires practical application. Through this practical application, one becomes aware of numerous internal obstacles symbolized by the demons in Journey to the West. The text states, "The way grew by 1 foot, the demons by 10. Overcoming these challenges necessitates both inner and outer companions on the journey. Liu Yiming said, "Companions are not of one kind only. There are internal and external companions. The external companions are your intimate friends in the Tao." He continues, "The internal companions are the men who do not die. They are the firm, ardent breath." The number 5 holds great significance in Chinese culture, particularly through its association with the 5 elements, a concept prominently featured in Journey to the West. The text states, "The 5 elements were combined with the heavenly immortal." This is also illustrated by the image of 5 children and the laughing Buddha. and the ancient Chinese character for eye. This character comprises the symbols for the number 5 and for mouth or gate, which here refers to the mysterious gate. This character for eye represents the mind of Tao, the aspect within a person that seeks to awaken the Tao. Returning to the charm of 5 bats, the number 5, together with the open square in the middle, also forms the character for eye. With this in mind, one can interpret the 5 fortunes arriving at the gate as I am blessed to arrive at the gate. Additionally, when the character for heart or mind, which changes its shape when combined with another character, is added, it forms the character for awakening, which is known by the Japanese pronunciation Satori. The symbolism of the 5 bats combined with the character for good fortune emphasizes the theme of 5 and 1, or 5 and the One. True good fortune signifies entering the mysterious path, a metaphor for attaining spiritual enlightenment and entering heaven. This entrance into heaven represents the awakening of one's original spirit, enabling one to experience the miraculous nature of the present moment. People typically perceive everyday repetitive moments as mundane, unimportant, or even boring. However, each moment offers the possibility to be present to it. When the original spirit awakens, the moment is transformed, suddenly full of meaning, and reveals its timeless nature. This is immortality. When Alice in Wonderland asked the rabbit, "How long is forever?" he answered, "Sometimes just 1 second." The upper circle of the gourd charm represents heaven. The 4 characters Jinju Mantang mean "May gold and jade fill your halls." While most people would interpret this as a wish for material wealth, heaven symbolizes spiritual wealth rather than physical riches. This Taoist symbol, known as the mysterious female, shares the same shape as the gourd charm. It features the trigrams for water and fire, which are crucial in Taoist alchemy. In Journey to the West, Monkey states, "I searched for a teacher to learn about the way. Taking from yin and yang, joining water and fire, I suddenly was aware of the mysterious path." This symbolism is also present in Buddhism. Statues of Amida Buddha notably feature these 2 circles. The Sufi poet Rumi expressed a similar idea. He said, "Don't go back to sleep. People are going back and forth across the threshold where the 2 worlds touch. Don't go back to sleep." Likewise, statues of Mahavairocana Buddha also incorporate these 2 circles. The mudra, or hand gesture, of Mahavairocana Buddha is known as the mudra of the 6 elements. Kukai explained, "The 6 elements are the 5 elements and consciousness. Consciousness permeates all 5 elements, symbolized by the pointer finger of one hand penetrating the fingers of the other hand." In Journey to the West, the golden pills are created in Lao Tzu's laboratory. During the Han Dynasty, Lao Tzu was honored with the title Supreme Lord Lao, elevating him to the status of an immortal and celestial being. In Journey to the West, Supreme Lord Lao is depicted in his elixir laboratory located in the 33rd heaven, known as Tushta Heaven. Here, two immortal boys assist by fanning the 8 trigrams furnace where the pills of immortality are refined. The 8 trigrams furnace is a symbolical furnace that represents one's own mind. Plutarch, a Greek philosopher, said, "The mind is not a vessel that needs filling, but wood that needs igniting." 2 of the 8 trigrams, water and fire, are instrumental in creating the golden pill, since they represent its essential ingredients. This well-known yin-yang symbol can also be interpreted as a representation of the trigrams water and fire. In Journey to the West, Monkey says, "Turning the light inwards, I sat and calmed my mind. As the sun and moon, water and fire united within myself." The trigram water is yin on the outside and yang on the inside. According to Liu Yiming, this yang line on the inside represents the water of celestial unity, symbolizing the true awareness of the mind of Tao. Conversely, the trigram fire is characterized by yang on the outside and yin on the inside. The yin line within fire represents the energy of conscious awareness. However, as children transition into teenagers, this energy becomes thoroughly intertwined with conditioned, discriminating awareness, causing the human mind to generate illusions. With discriminating awareness, conscious awareness becomes obscured, shrouded behind a veil, leaving the mind unillumined. Liu Yiming also explains that the mysterious gate refers to a state of spiritual awakening, where one perceives the true nature of reality. Achieving this awakening requires the harmonious interaction of water and fire. When water and fire are balanced through the intermediary of the true intent, which is the intent to return to self-awareness, water and fire symbolically exchange their inner lines, transforming into the creative and the receptive, and the pill crystallizes. This symbolizes a spiritual process. Without understanding and experiencing this transformation within oneself, the symbols are meaningless. Discriminating awareness is the human mind's tendency to categorize, judge, and differentiate between things. While essential for practical living, it often devolves into unnecessary mental activity. Although early spiritual pursuits aimed at awakening do require discriminating awareness, it eventually becomes an obstacle to the direct experience of the Tao. This paradox underscores one of the many contradictions between the routines of daily life and the pursuit of spiritual enlightenment. Liu Yiming says, because the mind of Tao has a yang light which can be used to burn away a person's yin energy, the mind of Tao is also represented as a furnace. During spiritual practice, the human mind becomes a furnace and a cauldron, a vessel in which the medicines of water and fire, referring to real and discriminating awareness, are forged together. The remaining 6 trigrams represent the firing stages or firing times. Through these 6 stages, the medicine is symbolically fused into the golden pill. Liu Yiming also states, the point where one yang begins to move is when the yang light of real awareness of the mind of Tao stirs, but is not yet very active. At this time, you should quickly set about increasing the fire from vagueness to clarity, from 1 yang to the complete purity of 6 yang. The purity of 6 yang, symbolizing unhindered self-awareness, signifies the absence or passivity of yin energy as an obstacle. Achieving this state requires a balance of yin, flexibility, and yang, firmness. It is crucial not to confuse this yin and yang with the other meanings of yin and yang, the obstruction to the Tao and pure self-awareness. As stated in Journey to the West, the body of pure yang was happy in the sun. The yin demons dared not use their might. In the 2nd century Taoist text Triplex Unity, Wei Boyang employs 6 trigrams representing the firing times to illustrate the waxing and waning of the moon. He also correlates these trigrams with the 6 lines of hexagram number 1, the creative. Journey to the West says, when the moon is full, the golden flower blooms, and shedding of the old self occurs. Near the conclusion of Journey to the West, just before Sanzang arrives at the Thunder Monastery, where the Buddha resides, he sheds his physical body, symbolizing the transformation or shedding of the old self. The term golden flower holds synonymous significance with the concept of the golden pill. The Secret of the Golden Flower says, the golden flower is the golden pill. The same is true for the symbol of the flaming pearl. Zhang Boduan said, the shine of this precious pearl is most great, as it lights up all the worlds in the universe. The 6 illumined spirits are mysterious and inexhaustible. The inner meaning of the I Ching also refers to the creation of the golden pill. Hexagram number 14, Great Possession, referring to possessing one's original spirit, says, in the end of Great Possession, strength and lucidity are as one. Integrated with celestial principle, the golden pill crystallizes. The 14th century Taoist Chen Zishu, in his book Great Essentials of the Golden Elixir, said, the way of Lao Tzu is nothing but the way of the golden pill. And he also said, the perfect way of the golden pill transmitted by the sages, the great undertaking for cultivating immortality and becoming a Buddha, is not a technique, it is the way. Throughout history, many have believed that the golden pill was a physical substance composed of material ingredients. However, the true nature of the golden pill is a state of conscious awareness. This enlightened state can only be achieved through a disciplined and ordered mind. As Journey to the West states, pills that can make you immortal are only a fiction. Nirvana can never be won by a mind in disorder.